What's up, everyone? Today let's talk about, are you addicted to information? And the reason that I bring this up is because I used to be addicted to information, and being addicted to information is the enemy of taking action. In fact, I spent so much time learning and educating myself. I just felt that if I learned more, if I took more time to become even more educated, to learn more things that are so important, that then I would be able to do the thing that I wanted to do. And essentially, I started sacrificing the actual practice itself. This is like having let's go with golf. It's like if I read book after book after book on just the perfect golf swing. How could I nail the perfect golf swing? But I didn't do any golfing at all. That is what I was doing in my life. And that's actually what I would say I'm a little bit scared of with you guys in these videos. I absolutely love and adore the fact that you guys are watching these videos. It makes me really happy. But I do want to say that these videos are meant to be taken action with. In fact, I'm going to say this, and I feel like this might seem kind of crazy to say from any YouTuber perspective, is that these videos really are meant to help you so that you don't ever have to watch them again. So that you can take the learning lessons, the things that I'm talking about, and that by taking the core principles of the things that I talk about, you don't have to revisit these. You can just live them. You can go forward and live with the new information and use it to change your life. With that being said, I will say, if you feel a couple things, if you feel the need to watch these videos because maybe it's the first time you're educating yourself on these kinds of things, then keep on educating yourself and keep on listening to your heart, but don't forget that you have to take action. And I forgot what the second thing I was going to say was. But that's okay. Let's just finish up this video. I feel like it's going to be a short one because I've recorded 4 for you today, and I'll be posting these throughout the week, and I'll be recording more throughout the week because we're just on such a growth train. So let's keep it going. So yeah, with that being said, I am grateful that you guys are watching these videos, and I want you guys to keep watching these videos. But if you really just go down and take the core concepts from it, you should be able to learn everything that you need to know to live your greatest life. And I'm going to actually summarize this channel here real quick. And with that being said, I do remember what I was going to say. With that being said, it's important to know that everything that I talk about in this video, this is what I was going to say, everything that I talk about in these videos, I want you to also question. And I want you to, try them on to see if they fit for your life. Because I can also be wrong plenty of times about plenty of things. I don't know what yet. But I can, definitely be wrong. I'm just a human. So I want you to take these things that I'm learning in my life and trying to apply in my life. If they've helped me, then I talk about them with you and try them on in your life. Because maybe there's some things you agree with me on and some things that you don't agree with me on. And that's okay. Because there is one thing that I talk about on this channel, and I would go as far as to say as this is true for everybody. And I can't imagine it not being true. And it's that at your core, inside of here, you have a little internal guidance system. And that internal guidance system you're supposed to listen to. And it's going to be, society has probably told you that it's not okay to listen to that system, but there's something inside of you that must listen to that little guidance system. And you must rebuild that connection with yourself to get to know yourself more. In fact, part of what I love about making these videos is that I get to learn more about myself. Every time I keep spitting out some of these videos, I learn more about what I actually think about things as I explain these things to you. And this is part of my personal growth process because my internal guidance system told me I need to make these videos for you guys and for myself. That's why I call it my online thoughts journal. I'm talking to you guys, but I'm getting to know myself more in the process of doing this. And it's helping me also with my other entertainment-based channels, which you can check the link in the description down below. So you can go check those out. But I want to really focus on those channels. But now I'm so happy and excited doing these things because I'm taking action by learning. Because I learned that I needed to listen to my internal guidance system. And the other part of that really would just summarize this channel up is that you must be willing to take action. And that requires courage, because there's always fear. There is always fear when it comes to listening to your internal guidance system for the first times. Because I'll tell you what, the more I do this and the better I get at it, the more fear completely fades from my psychology. Go look at the first videos I made. They sucked. I'm going to be honest with you. They were terrible videos. And they weren't very good because I was fearful. I wasn't, first of all, very practiced in what I was doing. I wasn't very good at explaining the things. I stumbled and jittered and whatnot and messed them all up. And it's because I had this fear of like putting myself out there. I made this one video where I was like, it's not really even that, it's like not even a controversial video at all, or maybe not really controversial. And I remember looking at it and I was like, oh my God, this is going to be so controversial, when it wasn't controversial like at all. It was just me thinking something and putting it out there. And maybe I'm right, maybe I'm wrong, but like, who cares? And the more that I took action, the more I was willing to feel that courage inside of myself coming out. And as I felt that courage inside of myself coming out, I feel so much happier putting these out for you guys. So if, in a sense, these videos on this channel are just made to help you get into that relationship with yourself, where you're listening to your guidance system in here, in your heart, maybe in your belly too, in here, and you're taking action on it and you're moving forward, and that's how you're going to live your best life. And I'm going to say that is probably true for everybody. I'm going to say it is true for everybody. I can't imagine it being wrong. In fact, I would say just try it out. And as you try it out and you get to know yourself more, you're probably going to agree with me and say that I'm right. And if you think that I'm wrong, I'll be insanely surprised. If you think I'm wrong, leave a comment down in the section, in the comment section below. Tell me why you think I'm wrong. And I may or may not disagree with you, because I do have an open mind in listening to people, but I just can't imagine this being wrong. So with that being said, I guess really in a way that's where I'm also at in life. And over time, this channel may change. And maybe I'll talk about some other stuff, because this is my online thoughts journal, where instead of writing things down in a physical journal like I used to, now I'm just writing them down in video format for you guys, and maybe you take something away from it. So the channel may change, but if anything, that's where I'm at in life. And it's learning to listen to my heart and my goals and what I want to do with my life, and move forward with it regardless of what society says. So if you're addicted to information, that just means that you're spending too much time learning information and not enough time learning about you on the core, on the inside. This and this applies to many things. Let's go ahead and explain a few other things that could also be used as an example for this. One of the examples I can think of is that if you spend so much time, actually, let's talk about the book Think and Grow Rich, because I really love that book a lot. I'm going to leave a link for that in the description down below if you want to read it. Incredible book. It talks about the 12 steps to accomplishing your goals. It's like, one of the best-selling books of the world ever. It's an incredible book, and one of the things that he talks about is in the chapter called Specialized Knowledge. And he talks about Henry Ford in that chapter. And he says some really interesting things. He says a man of education is not a man who, okay, I can't remember this perfectly, but I'm going to give it a shot. A man of education is not a man who, has learned a bunch of subjects and whatnot. It's a man who knows how to accomplish his goals without violating the rights of others in the process. And he talks about how people used to make fun of Henry Ford because he dropped out of middle school. He stopped going to school when he was 15 years old, yet he amassed this massive fortune, and people claimed that he was uneducated because they had gone to school for longer than him. And the example that was used in the book is that when Henry Ford was on trial because someone libeled him and someone was saying that he was uneducated, he was defending himself, and they were trying to make him seem so uneducated, and then he finally broke and he said, you know, on my desk, he's like, I have a row of buttons on my desk, and at my command I can press any button I want and summon any expert I want on any particular subject and use that information for my advantage. And in that book he used that to mean, to get the point across, to say that education is not necessarily having a bunch of generalized knowledge, but it's rather being able to take the knowledge that you learn and apply it and use it in your life. The problem also with knowledge and taking so much time learning is that it is an excellent excuse to not take any action. Not taking action is the biggest mistake. Knowledge is only potential power. And this is really important. This is very important. Knowledge is only potential power. Knowledge only becomes power when it is applied. Because power is the ability to create change. The ability to create change in your life and in other people's lives. And if you only have knowledge, that's only potential power because it's not changing anything. The only way to really change things in this physical reality is by taking action. And if you spend all your time maybe watching these videos, watching other people's videos, studying a subject and never taking any action on it, you're just amassing a whole pile of garbage that is not being used. It's just potential energy being wasted. In fact, this reminds me of this one study that I heard where it talked about where these guys were trying to study the differences between successful people and unsuccessful people. And these people measured success with money. Now, money is not the only form of success, but it is one of the different forms of success in this world. And with that being said, the thing that they studied, or the conclusion that they came to, is that successful people, when they learned something new, they had a faster time to implementation than unsuccessful people. The people who learned something new implemented that thing usually within 48 hours of learning it. Within 48 hours, they would take action on the brand new information that they had received. And unsuccessful people in general did not take action at all on the new information that was given to them. Or it took them more than like 96 hours. It's something along those lines. And that just goes to show, really, at the end of the day, being addicted to learning information is a hindrance because it stops you from taking action. And it's an easy excuse when you don't want to face your fear. So it's important to recognize if you're using education as a tool to avoid facing your fears. There are times in life where you must study the thing that you want to do. For example, being a doctor, right? You have to study and know exactly what you're doing before you do it. And that can take many, many years of studying. Let's say it takes 10 years of studying to be a successful doctor, right? And then you start implementing because you have the knowledge base to take action on the things that you've learned. But then on the flip side, let's say someone studies how to be a doctor for 30 years and has never taken any action on it whatsoever because he's constantly focused on just learning about how to be a doctor. That's only potential power that is then wasted. So in your life, I want you to ask yourself, today's video growth challenge is for you to ask yourself, if you're addicted to learning information on any subject and you're not taking action on it. Because you know how many helpful things have you learned that you have not taken action on and implemented in your life? It's not supposed to be very easy. You know what? Maybe it kind of is, or it should be, but it's like not, because you have this fear and you're supposed to face that fear. So every time you learn something new, actually today's video growth challenge is to create a new habit. And that new habit is going to be that when you learn something new, I want you to try to implement that thing within 48 hours, or try to implement that new behavior within 48 hours, whatever it is. When you learn that thing, you must start implementing it. As a last thing, I'm going to give you one more example. I've always thought for myself, since I was 20 years old, that I wanted to build a personal brand that affected the lives of people in a positive way. And I spent 5 years of my life studying how to do that. And in fact, it got to the point where I was getting good at it. So I started doing it for other people. I started taking on marketing clients. I used to have a little marketing agency. I used to take on marketing clients, and that would help them build their brand that would help people. And that whole time I had all this knowledge on how to do it, and I had this fear of actually doing it for myself. And then I started taking action, and I started making these videos. And look at how much the channel has grown since I started taking consistent action and consistently facing that fear, and stopped inundating myself and drowning myself in a sea of information that I never took any action on. And now I feel much happier as a result of it. And I just cannot tell you how grateful I am. And I want you to be able to feel the same thing that I'm feeling right now, because it's an incredible feeling. And so with that being said, if you're addicted to learning information, it's time to take action. If you have more to learn, then keep on learning it. But don't ever forget to keep on taking action. And the perfection and the excellence will come from the repeated action taking and the consistency that will guide you to becoming great at the thing that you love doing once you listen to your internal core self. Thanks for watching this video. I thought it was going to be really short, and I even said that on the video. I thought this was going to be like a 3-minute video. And I think my voice is about to go out because I've talked for like an hour straight recording these. So thank you so much. I'll see you guys on the next video. Hit the subscribe down below, and I'll catch you soon.